Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's look is going to be our Valentine's Day, day 3, and this is called the Box of Chocolates. So it's just a bunch of brown colors, but it's a soft glam, and I thought it was really pretty. So make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up, and also hit that bell notification so you can be notified when I upload any more videos. So we are going to get started into this video. Let me know, guys, what you guys think down in the comments below. So right now we're going to start off by priming our eyes. I already did one eye to see how well I liked it off camera. So I'm going to go in with this Lorax, and it is an actual eye primer. And I'm going to set that all over the eyes. And then I'm going to blend it out with a beauty blender, and I'm also going to go ahead and set it with a powder. I really don't know how I feel about this Lorax eye primer, but it was okay. I mean, it did just fine. It didn't do any creasing or anything, so it worked just fine. I'm taking the Coty Airspun to be able to set that, so I'm just taking my fluffy brush, dipping in a little bit of that, and just going all over that to set it to make sure that the eyeshadows will blend on top of that eye primer that we have. You don't want too much of this powder because then it can become too cakey and start to clump up with your eyeshadows. So I'm just taking the beauty blender to go back over to pat it down to make sure I have it all set and ready to go. So we're going to play with the Too Faced Peach palette. And to me, this is a more of a spring summer palette. But the browns in here were really, really pretty. And they also had names of desserts, so I really like that. So I'm going in with the top brown color, and I'm packing on that color. Instead of starting off with our transition color up above our crease, we're actually going to start in our crease with this darker shade. This is a different technique than I usually use, but I wanted to try something different and play around instead of doing the same kind of looks all the time or the same kind of steps all the time. So I'm going straight in with this brown, and I am just going into the crease and also blending above the crease that I have. So I'm just swiping back and forth, and this is going to take a couple applications. I believe I use about 3 or 4 applications just to build that deep, rich brown color that I'm looking for. But you can use as many as you want and as dark as you would like. And I start off at the outer corner and work my way into the inner corner, and I'm just going back and forth till I get the coverage that I need. We're going to build this up quite a few times. Just go back and forth with windshield wiper motions. You can also take your brush and just do circular motions from the outer corner into the inner corner. But I like to do back and forth. It just spreads the product more evenly, I think. So just keep doing that and build up the color until you get what you need. And I am taking this higher, going up a little bit above the crease towards the brow bone. But I don't want to go too far because we're going to take a transition color. This is the next color that we're going into. I'm taking a bigger, fluffier Morphe brush, and I'm going into this lighter brown that we have at the bottom, and I'm going to take that at the top and blend the dark brown and this light brown together so that we have the transition and the crease color that blend seamlessly into one another, so it doesn't look like just one color was laid down. And I'm using circular motions for this, and I'm going back and forth from the outer corner to the inner corner until we get what we need. We don't want this to be too dark. We want this color to be lighter, but we still want a color down. That way we do not have just one flat color. That way we have two. And I'm going back in with the same brush I use and just blending those two colors together so that we don't have two separations of colors. Going back in with some more to build it up a little bit more at the top and just keep going back and forth. Going in with this clean, fluffy brush, I'm going just to sweep this across the top to make sure it's all blended together and that we don't have no fallout or nothing left behind. Going back in with the original brush that we do have, and we're just going to keep on going back and forth, not adding any more product to the brush that we have, but just the leftover product that is already on the brush. Now I'm taking this more smaller pointed detailed brush from Morphe, and I'm going into the black of this palette, and I'm just using a very, very tiny bit on the outer corner, and I'm just stamping it on the outer corner until I get as much pigment as I need, and then I'm just going to drag it down and blend it upwards. This is going to be very little, not much at all, but just enough to give that outer corner that darkness that we are looking for and that darker pop of color on the outer part of our eye. Then I'm going back in with the brown to blend the black and the brown together so that they're seamless and that they're not separated. Our next step, we're going in with this glitter brown color that we have, and we're going to put this on the lid from the inner corner to that black that we have. We don't want it to all the way to the end, but we do want to stop where we have that black that started. And we're just going to take it up to the crease. And this color, it's not real glittery. It's more of a shiny foil eyeshadow, I would say. And we're going to do that on both eyes. And then we're going to add this other brown color. And we're going to lay that on top. It just has more of a lighter color. And that's what I was going for. I want it to be more lighter on the eyelid instead of real dark. That way we can really see that brown glitter shine eyeshadow. Next we're going to go in with this cream color and this top brow bone color. It is a shimmer cream color as well. And we're going to take these two and we're going to go at the top of our brow bone to give our brow bone some definition and also make that shine so that it pops a little bit better. And then I'm just going back over with a clean brush and blending it together so it don't look too separated on both sides. Going in with the face, we're going to start off with our primer, and this is the e.l.f. Putty Primer. This is compared to the Tarte. I don't have the Tarte, so I cannot tell you if it is. But this is really thick. You just need a little bit, and I just rub my finger inside, get a little bit, and then I press it in to the areas that I need. And I usually do my nose, my forehead, and my chin, wherever I have large pores. This does really work to blur out any pores that you do have, and it also makes the foundation lay really pretty on top and look pretty flawless. If you have textured skin, you're still going to see the texture though. I don't believe that this is going to cover up any of that. And like I said, I press it in instead of swiping. I press and then move and swipe across. I just think it will help better for it to be pressed in. Next, I'm using this Becca primer, and this is more of a glowy primer, and I'm just using this on the outside of my face because I'm very dry, and I want this glow to come on the outer part since I'm going to be adding highlighter and other things. Then I'm going to use this Physician Formula Healthy Foundation. This is very light coverage foundation, and it also stinks. It does not smell good at all. I'm using just as much as I think that I need because it is not full coverage. I'm just going to put as much as I want and then go back in if I do end up needing more later. But I'm just taking it from the applicator that it came with and applying it on my face until I get the amount I need.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and take my artiste brush that I have, and I'm just going to tap this foundation in. I like to apply my foundation with this method. I think it does do a better job and leave more of a coverage to it. This foundation looks really light and almost has a gray cast when I'm applying it, but in person it really doesn't. It's just showing that way up on camera. I am using, I think, the second lightest color in the foundation. There's not many colors for this foundation, so if you do want to use this foundation, you might have to end up buying two to match for your color that you need. This is my second time trying it. I really still don't have my thoughts on how well I like it. I'll wear it throughout the day and see how well it performs and holds up with the rest of my makeup, and then I'll let you guys know how well it did and if it creases or cracks or even gets into any of the pores that I have. So you just want to make sure that you continuous tap this product in to your face. Then I'm going back in with a little bit more because I see that it's not enough coverage that I want. And then I'm going to go back in with the Beauty Blender this time just to make sure that this product is really set into the face and not laying on top of the face.
Yeah.
That it looks more like skin instead of foundation.
I should be. Yeah, I'll check out that crossbow.
Now I'm going in with this Age Rewind Concealer by Maybelline, and I'm going to use this to conceal underneath my eyes and on my chin, my nose, my forehead. And I'm just applying as much as I think I need. You can go lighter or even add more. I just start from the side of my nose and work my way under my eye. And then I put a couple dots on my chin, a straight line up, and then a couple lines on the forehead above the nose. I'm going to go back in with my smaller artiste brush. I think this really just keeps the amount of coverage that I want and doesn't take off the product. But I will go back in with the Beauty Blender just to make sure it's laying like skin and not just caking up on the face. Now, I did notice that I wasn't working fast enough, so it was starting to dry faster, and then it was harder to blend. So I would say instead of putting it all on your face, just put where you want it and then go in straight blend and then do the next. Do the next under eye or your nose or your forehead, whichever you like, but don't wait and do it all at once and then go in and blend, because it was really hard to blend out once it started to dry.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I know there's another fight, so I'm going to stay up here so I can have the high ground. There we go.
Going in with this NYX concealer, it is lighter, and I just wanted it to be a little bit lighter under my eyes. So I'm just doing a couple lines under, just two, just to brighten it up a little bit more. I didn't think it was bright enough, and it really wasn't covering very well with the Maybelline concealer and this foundation. So I just went in with this and then using my beauty blender to blend this out. And it ended up brightening it up. So it did end up looking a lot better. Going in with my Coty Airspun powder. Now I'm going to dip my sponge into a little bit and go ahead and set my under eyes with that concealer under both eyes and under the nose. Or not under the nose, on top of the nose. And my chin, my forehead, and also the rest of my face, but I'm using very, very little. You won't hardly see any powder on my face when I do this. It's just very little, and it's just going to be tapping it on the whole entire face, just to make sure that the foundation and the concealer is all set down so we can go into our contour or our bronzer. I'm now going in with my Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. I'm taking my contour brush, I'm swirling it around. We aren't going to be contouring today, we're just going to be bronzing up the face with two different bronzers. I didn't want to contour or make this a really dramatic look. I wanted it to be more of a soft glam. So I'm basically just starting up towards the top of my ear and working my way down in circular motions back and forth, as well as going up the side of my temples and the top of my forehead, as well as down the side of my chin. And you just want to keep going back and forth and using circular motions. This doesn't pack on color, so you will probably need to go in with some more until you get the color that you would like.
What's your chest piece like? Okay. Because I had this finesse. It has a +1 to summoning.
going in with this Loreal bronzer. This does have a little bit more of a sheen to it. That's why I'm using very little and just going certain places, the top of the forehead, a little bit down the side, and over by the top of the ear, and going down a little bit, but not too much, because then it just makes the face look too shiny, too glittery, and we don't want that. We're just going for a subtle bit of that glow in our face. I'm going to go back in with the Coty Airspun, and I'm going to carve out underneath the bronzer just a little bit, just to make sure that the bronzer is not all over the place. Since we're not contouring, we just want to look bronzed and have a soft glam instead of having that bronzer all over the place. So you just take it from down the sides. Now I'm going in with my blush, and this is from Tarte, and this was an actual Christmas collection. And I am just taking the top two colors, mixing those together, and tapping them on from the cheekbone back towards the ear. That way it gives a soft blush color. I didn't want nothing too harsh with this either, but I do end up going in with my beauty blender and tapping that in as well, because it still looked a little harsh when I first applied it. Now wiping away all that powder that we had sitting on our face. That way it's not all powdery, and that way we can move on to the next step of our makeup. I'm using the Morphe setting spray, spraying my face to set all of that powder down so it don't look too powdery on the face. Next I'm going in with this Colourpop Highlighter. And I'm going to use this with a beauty blender, and I'm going to tap that in and then tap it onto the high points of my cheeks to give it that glow. This wasn't too intense, and this wasn't showing up as well as I wanted it to, so I decided to go in with actually another highlighter that I have from Makeup Revolution, and it's the Soph. But I still went ahead and put this everywhere that I usually would, hoping that when I use the other highlighter, that on top of this, that it would look really pretty.
Oh, you wasn't here. Oh, you didn't come with me. Is there a boat there? Alright, then I'm about to come back through the blood sewage. You want to go back up them steps and head towards the back room where all the where that matched to. Here, I'll put it there. I'm right here. I don't think kids like me because I'm a damn elf. Yeah, kids just don't talk to me. I think maybe because
Now going back in with the Sweet Peach palette,
down here, yeah.
we
I'm
are
about to
going to
come
take
up,
a
though.
small tapered detail brush, and we're going to take that dark brown,
Here, let me,
and we're going to smudge
save it.
this underneath the eyes, starting from the outer corner in, but we're not going to go all the way in. And we are going to take it close as we can to our eyelash line. So just keep doing that back and forth on each side. Now we're going in with the lighter brown and a flatter brush, and we're taking that across that dark brown color to mix the two together and blend them so that it looks really pretty. Now going in with the lighter shade that we use for the top of our brow bone, we're going to take that to the inner corner of the eye. That way it really pops and has that glow that we are looking for. We're also going to take some of the highlighter from the Soph X palette from the Makeup Revolution, and as well use that in our inner corners. And that is the look. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think it turned out to be really pretty. I did some mascara and I did my brows, and that was it. So leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, head over to my Instagram, and keep on watching. Thanks.